Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're discussing another potential victim of the quest for a lucrative live service payday, WB Montreal's next project, which is looking for leadership well versed in that contentious genre. While browsing Reddit the evening of July 28th, I came across a post citing an article from website Tech for Gamers, who had stumbled across an executive producer job posting for an apparent live service title in development at WB Games Montreal. The role would oversee work on a high quality AAA game based on an iconic IP from DC Comics, and noted a specific desire for live service experience, requiring the producer to oversee post launch content and live service strategy, ensuring ongoing player engagement, which flat out confirms that live service component. WB Games is really looking for someone to fulfill that long term vision, who will, in their own words, stay informed on industry trends and player expectations to keep the game competitive and relevant. Looking at this job posting in isolation might not be so bad, but this isn't an isolated event. The gaming industry's perpetual chase of that live service golden goose has ended almost exclusively in abject failure, aside from some rare exceptions. Combine that general trend with the fact that WB Games' previous live service ventures and the Montreal studio's recent track record are both far from stellar, and it seems like this project is being set up for disaster. WB Montreal's last release in Gotham Knights, while not a complete dumpster fire like Suicide Squad, largely missed the mark. And Rocksteady's live service pivot was, as I just mentioned, an unmitigated disaster. Take another step back and look at Multiverses, a game which had every opportunity to thrive and succeed, but ended up dying not just once, but twice over. Although the first case was while still in beta, so I'll grant them that small concession. So, with those previous failures in mind, the big question is, what does WB have planned for this new project that makes them think it will end any differently? The Montreal studio does have experience working with Rocksteady's previous body of work in the form of their Arkham City port, Arkham Origins, and DLC content. So taking something like Suicide Squad and adapting it in one form or another wouldn't be completely out of the question. Or they could be developing a live service sequel to Gotham Knights, whatever that might look like. Although with the tepid reception it received, I'm not sure the juice would be worth the squeeze. But this is WB we're talking about, so any level of mismanagement is possible. Earlier this year, Warner Bros. Themselves confirmed that their gaming focus moving forward is centered on four big tentpole franchises: Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, Game of Thrones, and DC. The sequel to Hogwarts Legacy, WB's greatest gaming success in recent memory, might end up as a live service, despite the incredible success its single player predecessor provided. Typical corporate mismanagement. Mortal Kombat already operates under a live service model, with post release content serving as a cornerstone of the franchise, and that won't change anytime soon. Game of Thrones is focused almost exclusively on mobile games, aside from the just announced War for Westeros RTS, which I'm very excited for. But even that could adopt a live service model of sorts after release. Just look at the life cycle of your average Total War title. Release a base game, then sell faction DLC for years and years to come. Sure, it might not be the fast paced live service of something like Fortnite, but it would certainly qualify. And then there's DC. Rocksteady is apparently working on what is hopefully a new single player Batman game, or even the start of a new trilogy if we're lucky. But where does that leave the Montreal studio? Developing Suicide Squad 2.0, an Arkham Knight sequel, or something else, none of which sound particularly appealing. The new executive producer listing has some people thinking this new project could be DC's take on Marvel Rivals, and I'd be lying if I said that doesn't sound cool as but I have a hard time seeing it. Rivals was announced in the spring of 2024, a year and a half after Gotham Knights released, so it's possible Montreal already had something similar planned, or decided to pivot and try creating a competitor, but I don't really buy either of those scenarios. Montreal is utilizing a big DC IP, but with Monolith's Wonder Woman game cancelled and Batman taken by Rocksteady, the next best option is probably Superman, maybe The Flash, Catwoman, or Green Lantern, or a Justice League team up if we're talking really large scale. So, is this supposed to be some kind of Superman looter shooter or Justice League team based PvP game? A Mortal Kombat adjacent brawler or co op PvE experience? Teaming up to fight against parademons or other adversaries? Who knows? But I really hope this latest live service attempt isn't WB sounding the death knell of yet another studio, the latest in a long pedigree that were shuttered after trying and failing to obtain that near unachievable golden goose. Live service development is a titanic struggle at the best of times, with massive teams constantly working at breakneck speed to keep their product relevant and profitable. And the teams that actually pull it off with any level of success are incredibly few and far between. Sure, you have established giants like Fortnite, and more recent success stories like Helldivers 2. But we've even started to see fall off from studios that used to be considered the best of the best in terms of their live service output. Bungie's Edge of Fate expansion has been such a monumental flop that players have taken to calling it a modern day Curse of Osiris. And for people unfamiliar with the background behind that comparison, it's not a compliment, believe me. Other live service pillars like Apex and Warzone continue to chug along, but they also continue to shed players and lose community support with nearly every new release or update. Marvel Rivals stormed onto the scene last year, and credit where it's due. NetEase pulling off one of the most unexpected success stories in the genre's history is nothing to scoff at. But are we really confident that Warner Bros. Of all companies can cobble together anything even close to that? WB has yet to see any notable success with its live service ventures. Multiversus has been shuttered, and we're lucky that, Suicide Squad being the disaster it was, Rocksteady wasn't taken out back and sent to the big development studio in the sky immediately after its release. It's truly baffling that companies continue to focus so heavily on chasing trends like Battle Royale and live service, especially considering the continued failures and cancellations that have occurred over the last few years. I could make an entire video on the Battle Royale fad that just won't seem to fade, even as Splitgate 2's big BR bet didn't pay off, and Battlefield 6 seems poised to add their own failure to the pile, but that's a topic for another day. This is corporatized gaming we're talking about, so at the end of the day, I guess I'm really not that surprised at all, unfortunately. I'll be rooting for WB Montreal to succeed, and if they do come out swinging with the DC version of Rivals, which again, would be sick as if pulled off properly, I will happily eat my words. But with the track record of gross mismanagement at Warner Bros. And an unfavorable macro gaming environment into which the studio and their project are headed, I'm ultimately left scratching my head and worrying for their future. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more gaming content, and let me know your thoughts on that job listing and whether this project will end up as just another sacrifice on the insatiable live service altar in the comments below. You're a real one and I appreciate you. Catch you later.